Hello everybody, welcome back to various Oddities Showcase, and we have an interesting one, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm presently inside of an actual mod pack world, because, well, I've got vanilla stuff, and then I think that's Pam's Harvest stuff above my head, and if I had, like, I think that's ChocoCraft over there. I didn't make this mod pack, so I'm not 100% what's in here, but what I do know is in here currently is the latest version of the beta release for various oddities that you can find available on CurseForge. So, what is interesting in this new version that you can download, as I say, at the link in the description, is not terribly much. We have wargs, which are big rideable doggos. We have wargs, which are smaller, angrier doggos, and they're both made by goblins. But the real, thing that I want to show off today that I think you guys are going to really love is the phylactery system. So basically, the phylactery system allows you to turn any item you like into a portable, low-yield monster spawner. Every so on, it will try to spawn a particular mob in the vicinity of the item, and just as an example here, we have a diamond, and since I'm in creative mode, I can actually see the time remaining on this. That is not visible when you're in survival mode, or indeed any other mode, and there we go, there is an evoker, which is what it defaults to, but you can change this to be anything you like, and you almost stood on this pad. Yeah, that would have been bad for you. Oh, yep, and yep, it's just every, I think this is set to, yeah, every 200 ticks, which is about 10 seconds, it will try to spawn a new guy, but of course I can stop that by just doing this. There. All this does, by the way, just in case you're wondering, just deletes anything that's a player nearby. But this is incredibly configurable. So, as I've said, you can put this to be on any item you like. It's just on a diamond here. You can put this is 100% MBT data. So there is nothing in your world that cannot be targeted by this when it's in item form at the very least. So just as an example of a modded item, let's take, how about a bee? Let's have a bee, shall we? So let me see, if I hit F3 and H, I can see the tooltips and I can see exactly what these things are. So let's just go with Forestry Bee Queen GE for this particular example. There. Okay, so that gives us that. We can see time remaining is going down. You can also tell that this is not in fact changing the MBT data as it's ticking down because, well, I'm not... The key clue of that is that my hand is not changing at all until it actually happens, which is because the data has to change what time it last spawned. So it does not care how long it has been in some kind of suspended animation when it is trying to spawn these things. It will check the last time it was spawned and the current time, and it will know how long it has been inactive or on cooldown or such. But as we can see, here we have Benny, because, well, there we had Benny. We'll soon have another Benny. Hi, as if on cue. Here we have Benny, and that is because we have the custom name tag inside of the data here, which is just the spawn data. That's the same name as you will find in monster spawners, and with that we can target any mob we like, provided we know its ID name, and we can give it all manner of custom data. So we have custom name Benny, and as I say, doesn't matter how long it's been in suspended animation, but for at least a fair variety of vanilla items. Not necessarily every container you'll find in mod, but for vanilla items, it will in fact still work inside of chests, and hoppers, and furnaces, and thank you very much, Benny, you appear to have a death wish. There we go. It will still work, even in there. It will just spawn from the block position. And this is incredibly new. By which I mean I created this whole system in a whim on a night when I was inspired. So there may be bugs, but thus far it has seemed to be quite stable. And there are plans to expand this. Let's just have ourselves a little bit of fun here. So let's say we want to summon, we'll summon a villager. Just a regular old villager. And we'll call this guy Benny Haha, why not? And we're going to give him a tag, because since this uses the MBT system, you are able to apply any values you like to anything that you would normally do for map-making shenaniganry inside of MBT. So in a few moments, where are we? There you are, Benny Haha, hi. So this command block is testing for anything with the tag on your scoreboard of Larry, which is now this guy. So yay, that works nicely. And as I say, this is very configurable, so you can do anything with MBT. You can change up what kind of visuals the mobs have if you're using various oddities creatures. You can change the scoreboard values if you're using regular things. You can do any item in your mod pack whatsoever, and it will even store inside these and continue to work. As I say, it doesn't work with everything. I don't believe it works with Yabba barrels and the kinds, but I am working to expand the compatibility with that without making things actual like dependencies in the mod, which is a huge pain, but nonetheless. And first thing we saw here was the duration. So your duration defaults to 1 in-game day if you don't specify one, but you can specify whatever duration you like. There is no limit to this, it just must be larger than 0. And that will count down from the last time it spawned, which again defaults to when you're actually first given it. So the first time it tries to update, if it doesn't find that last spawn value, it will just create one. And then it will do that, and then whenever it finds the right thing, it will spawn it. And if it doesn't find the right thing, it will just hold and wait. But there are other tags that we can apply. So you might have noticed that whilst Benny was around, he wasn't actually spawning any more Bennies. And that's because we have this unique tag in here. So if you set this to true, 1B, it doesn't have to be there. If it's not there, it just defaults to false. But if it is there and it's set to 1, then it is true, and that means that it will not try to spawn any more mobs as long as it can find any mob in the world loaded, not in unloaded chunks, with the same name and the same type. So 2 villagers named Benny Haha cannot in fact exist. Now that might change, we might change that to be more specific over time, but the name we figured to be one of the things that is going to be least likely to change in course of normal play, so it makes the most sense as a phylactery. Phylacteries, by the way, originate with, well, a variety of things, but for me, it's Dungeons & Dragons liches, who use phylacteries as a fragment of their soul and whatnot to respawn. Basically, J.K. Rowling ripped off for Voldemort. So you can think of these as Horcruxes if that's a bit more native for you. But I will note that if you are using this to spawn a boss mob, for instance, if we put Minecraft Wither here, then this defaults hard to be on. So if you set this to be spawning any kind of boss mob, it will never spawn as long as there is one of those mobs in the world already. But that changes, of course, if you go into unloaded chunks. So yes, that is the system here. So you can make that to be, you can have unique be off and not spawning boss mobs if you want this to be a really, really low yield mob spawner. But of course we can just dial up the rates here. We can change this to be 20, for instance. We can get ourselves an evoker every second, more or less. And yep, there we go. Oh boy, wouldn't this be... I mean, these guys drop totems of undying. This isn't exactly a bad thing, except that they'll wreck you, I guess, but you never know. And you can see they're spawning from the item as well. Grand. And let's just yeah, bye guys. Bye. Okay, good. So yeah, you can, it's tremendously configurable. If you use the item that you get there in, like, a crafting recipe, it currently will like work, but it won't actually carry over the phylactery tag. The plan is that the system will identify when a phylactery item is being used in crafting and deny the crafting event, but that code has not been added in the version you are able to see. Items that are phylacteries on the ground will not despawn, but you can still toss them into fires and whatnot, and that seems relatively thematic to me, that you should have to toss them into, like, volcanic lava to destroy them. But do let me know in the comments if there is any other properties that you think a phylactery item should have, and we will naturally see about getting those added, depending on where we like them, obviously. Not all things could be added, like, oh hey, this phylactery item should, I don't know, give you Wither 15 seconds every time you blink. But we do naturally have a lot of plans for this system. It was added in preparation for the forthcoming boss update, where we will be adding the Lich, who will generate with their own phylactery item, with their own random names and details and that sort of thing. But for now, it is a system that you can use just as you like. There is no survival access to this, I should add, because it's MBT data, but, you know, we might add that later down the road. Maybe there's a ritual. I don't know. You probably couldn't... Well, maybe I could get this to work on being a bed. I've given myself an idea. Okay, with that, hope you've enjoyed. Hope you enjoy this new beta, and I shall catch you as ever next time.